So final ban, it will be Lilies. So taken away there from OMG. Now first pick, what are you expecting? Yeah, Jarvan's a big one.
Jarvan, Kalista, you could go for Kog'Maw. I mean, the thing is that SMLZ got his composition. You know, he got the 80 carry Twitch comp and he didn't perform on it. They've been having internal issues. You know, how does that strain a team backstage when the guy who you benched for disciplinary reasons gets everything that he wants and then doesn't perform?
But again, they're putting stock on him here for us. First pick Kog'Maw. And to be fair, IG, they banned it out in the first 3 games for good reason. This is his champion at the end of the day. We've seen so many Kog'Maw compositions being built around SMLZ.
And this should put a race on Janna and Lulu as well. Now, Gragas is already banned. I was going to say, if it's Kog'Maw and then second rotation should be Gragas Janna. Just to immediately take those tools away. Gragas is already banned though. Jarvan still works as flex pick and is kind of the other big primary jungler left. So that makes sense. This is a bit of an interesting turn.
It will, and it's locked in as well. So straight up, Ashe is just locked in very early into the rotation. What does this mean?
So they're just going to try to throw everything that they can into that back line. Another big pick that a lot of people like to pick into Kog'Maw in the LPL is Bard. And Megan and PYL are the 2 big Bard players. Now 5 will pick it up those other 2 supports. And with Ashe, that's a lot of long-range initiation potential.
As you get the fight rolling, and you've already got the Jarvan as well. OMG, they'll get the Lulu, so you've got the quintessential Kog'Maw Lulu combination, and a Rek'Sai, very early for Zherko as well.
Rek'Sai was banned last time around. I really like how Rek'Sai band-aids a lot of problems. When you pick up an Ardent Sensor or traditional Ardent Sensor support like Lulu and Janna, the team's vision tends to suffer, not just because you're getting a later completed Sightstone, but because these champions aren't innately tanky enough to face check and lay down safe vision. So acquiring Rek'Sai fixes a lot of those problems. And frankly, OMG have just been losing the vision game this entire series.
For the first time in the set as well, Invictus giving the counter pick over to Icon. Corki locked in for Rookie.
But they can immediately start pinching the Lucian to make sure that he doesn't get that favorable matchup. So it starts with LeBlanc. There's still picks like the Syndra, like the Cassiopeia, like the Lucian available. One of them will be taken away.
OMG back over to them. They will probably look towards the support pool here as well. You know, you're talking about the Bard. There was a chance that OMG will just take that away right now. And the Blitzcrank is...
I'm actually very surprised it was the Blitzcrank at all, though. Like, the thing is you almost kind of gamble on the Blitzcrank or the Bard. You'd almost rather take away the Thresh because he's a bit more versatile in what he offers. Go forward and backwards, deny and pick up. Of course, he was banned. Thank you. Second rotation.
I didn't do anything. You just saw that one by yourself for us. So back over to IG, Cassiopeia. So there is still Lucian actually on the board.
But then that means that maybe they're baiting them into a trap.
What does the trap consist of?
Well, if you pull someone into Lucian, it's because you expect the Lucian and you want it. So maybe Rookie just feels great about the matchup. Like, it seems like the obvious signpost, but if your mid laner is just like, okay, take it. We'll make this look delicious. This is the best thing that you've ever wanted.
Then suddenly you second guess yourself and you're like, I'm not sure if I want to take a step forward. So Brand locked in for IG.
So I did talk about the Bard. The other champion that Megan plays more than any other support, like PYL, is Brand. This is actually not super uncommon in the LPL. It works very well with Ashe. It's a straight kill lane. So they see the Lulu, they see the Kog'Maw, and they say, that's fine, we're going to kill you anyway. I dare you to come down to bot.
I mean, I love watching Brand more than the next person, but it's only won 2 games in the LPL out of 6. So it is very fun when it comes up, but yeah, he will have to play against the percentage game here. Shen, not a bad out that was pretty consistent from IG throughout this picking phase. We'll go to the top lane, and of course we're looking to set up our little Kog'Maw in the bot lane. Oh, go on, do it, Icon.
Dance.
He's thinking about it.
He had a great Jace performance in the last game before playoffs.
But he says Syndra in the end. Seems pretty content with the pick as well, so we'll take Syndra to that mid. And you know, the obvious bait was picking the Lucian, but he actually takes a left turn, goes for the Syndra.
And the thing is they needed CC. They don't actually have a lot of it. They have the taunt, but this offers another long-range engage tool for them, as well as great burst damage. So you kind of get the mixture of all. If you pick the Twisted Fate, yeah, you get the CC, the global presence, but you don't get the same burst. If you pick the Jace, you don't get the CC, but you also get the burst. If you pick Syndra, you get the best of both worlds.
Renekton, final pickup for IG. They were thinking about the Cho'Gath, but they will go for the Renekton in the end because he will be able to bypass a lot of the strengths that Shen does have in the top lane.
Interesting thing about Invictus Gaming is that since the turnover of kind of the rise of the tanks, they actually haven't been big on it. I know that we saw the Maokai in game number 3, But IG came into the tank meta and just continued to play, 20, 25-minute compositions and just run through you. And this is, again, one of a very similar, like, mid-game oriented composition that will just frankly get outscaled. But they see the Kog'Maw, they see the Tristana ban, they don't want to pick Twitch, they can't match it. So instead, they're just going to try to sprint off the finish line and beat OMG before they can get up and running.
I mean, at the same time for us, we've seen the game where OMG did manage to pick up a win. 5, feeling like he's pretty happy with his composition, giving his team a good nod there. But we've seen the strength of OMG. They drafted towards teamfight compositions in the first game, didn't work out. Did the exact same thing in the second game, and then won with it. It was like, all right, we recognize, we understand you, OMG. We're not going to beat you out in a team fight. So as you said, yeah, jump off the starting block and just try and beat them to the finish line.
And on the other side, it's do or die time. Icon did have his head in his hands a little bit earlier. Now
he's taking out his frustration on this poor bottle.
Still seems very focused.
Yeah. But this is it. OMG, if they lose this game, they are eliminated from playoffs and will have to make a run in the regional qualifiers if they want to make it to Worlds. We're looking into this team just a few weeks ago, honestly, and saying that this team could maybe even be better than like an RNG, EDG, or WE and take one of their spots coming into World, maybe go on points, go on winning this run here in playoffs, taking the finals. Is that a possibility for OMG? It's about to be knocked out right here by IG if they do not win one more game.
And to come so close to having that narrative, pay off for OMG, all of this long-term development, getting that berth at Worlds, it could very easily be taken away here. They need to make a deep run to get a good seed for
Invictus Gaming, the team that could, after an abysmal spring split in their playoff run, they come into summer and they're starting to do this here against OMG. IG and OMG, game 4.
I mean, it's all about how you want to look at it. What do you value? Do you value consistent dominance? The domestic performance that you are good from week 1 to week 10? Or do you consider the big game players? The ability to show up when it counts, when it matters. You can throw away the rest of your split as long as you make good in playoffs.
Just taking a quick look at those Keystone Masteries.
We now have Warlord's Bloodlust
on
back.
Both. Yeah, on both AD carries. So we're just matching. Megan's gone for the Deathfire Touch, of course, on Brand.
And Megan and West are just very quickly setting tempo of how this lane's going to go for 5
If you didn't
SMLZ.
know, we have pressure here. Just reminding you real quick.
If you didn't know, we are going to kill you.
Here's a little taste.
Jayka is starting bot side though. Rek'Sai does have great gank pass. Level 3, we'll see if he's running the experience quit. If he goes small Raptors, red buff Scuttle, and then to gank bottom, especially if Ashe and Brand are being so aggressive and so far forward, that is a path to watch.
So good to know. If Renekton takes Q at level 1 and Shen takes Q at level 1, this is when Shen actually wins the matchup. From here, doesn't get good. Renekton's very good in that 1v1.
But that is so important that Xiong makes sure that he got to the wave first and he gets control, so maybe he gets the level 2 advantage and tries to exploit that a bit more. Brand, he's actually reacting to the fact that Rek'Sai could go for the very early gank path, because again, if he takes Scuttle, he'll be level 3. He then would slip around and gank from behind, which is why that ward was placed so much earlier than we traditionally see.
Just in case he happened to go down there though, Jericho is actually looking towards the jungle here. He's trying to track the enemy jungle, it looks like.
He does know that Rek'Sai was just there because he saw the animation of the Scuttle Crab, but he probably assumes that he's not in his jungle, because who would expect Jaco to be there?
Yeah, why?
Oh no, it's actually a great read! He's gonna go over the wall and it's gonna be a counter gank!
Ning sneaks into the bush, though Brand's taking a bunch of damage. Flash, flag and drag, but SMLZ backs away. Ning has gone so deep for this, and he gets the kill anyway. 5, he's actually turning around, but he's almost about to be taken out as well. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Jericho also under attack, but should be able to get out of this one unless Ning goes real deep. No, he's not going to. Just get the damage down. So Megan falls, and so does SMLZ.
Crazy read by both junglers. Again, it's a pretty standard pathing for Rek'Sai, so great adaptation from Ning in particular. And seeing back, having Kid take the reins for one game, and then immediately getting off to a great start as soon as the game 4 starts. But that's what they need. They need the early kills because this composition needs to get up and running.
But more importantly, where did the kills actually go from that play? Because it didn't go to the AD carries, both went over to the opposing junglers. So hello, Megan. I thought you were needed us on Thresh, because right now we're just rocked up with the stun. He goes and gets locked up. Ning also looking for the flag and drag. He doesn't have flash though. Ooh, very close with the Dragon Strike, but Icon will make it out.
And again, Megan is one of the only supports that will do that. Normally when they make a back, they go towards the bottom side. They place deep vision. This is what they use their time for. Megan always runs towards the top side of the map and tries to get these cheeky gank paths onto the mid lane, onto the top laner. You just don't expect him there.
Every single time though for us, like literally every single time. And like, he did it on Thresh, then he does it the next game on Brand. He's level 2 and doesn't have mobility boots, and he still did it.
He had time.
I mean, he did have time. Unfortunately, he didn't burn Icon's flash or heal. And also didn't send him back to base. Look at Icon just burnt through all of his potions to stay in.
But it also meant that West got solo EXP down in the lane, and while that didn't mean anything when Fi was roaming around and West was on Tristana, it does mean something for Ashe, because having that unsuspected level 6 advantage can mean kill pressure on Kog'Maw and Lulu.
Just pushing this one in. If Icon actually CS's this, he'll be ahead in terms of farm against Rookie. Though he is looking to back himself. He's trying to push this one in so he can get a good back timing.
For the first time this series, Icon has more CS than Rookie.
Actually, not even a lie. Yeah, I think this is the first time. By 4 CS. Destroyed. Top lane. Shy is absolutely getting bodied. You need to just like back away from that.
Xiang is a Shin player through and through. It has been kind of his signature champion when he first came up into the top lane. He's also very experienced with Renekton, so he knows this matchup inside and out. And again, it really started with the initial level 1, you know, zoning the Shy out, getting that health advantage to make sure that he got the experience advantage. Yes, they're both level 5, but for a good portion of that trade, Shin was level 5 and the Shy was only level 4. So that's how Xiang's been exploiting this matchup top.
Also, he hasn't gone back to base yet, so the Shy will maybe burn his teleport. Yeah, he's going to use his teleport, goes back to the top lane. Gone for the double long swords, and Xiang has raised him 2 cloth armors, so we will see which is going to be stronger here. But Xiang has survived, and that's all he's really been able to, or needed to do in this match, in all honesty.
There it goes. Now the sustain is going to take over for Renekton. But Xiang will have access to the Stand United, which means that a play bottom should start to take off.
Yeah, from here on out, doesn't get good for Shen. He's done an exceptional job at actually keeping equal in terms of the farm, but yeah, as you mentioned, it's all about Stand United, going to the bottom side of the map, helping SMLZ, because he's still going to be the crux of this composition. It's all about SMLZ. And yes, it didn't work with the Twitch game, but we haven't tried to Kog'Maw yet because we haven't been able to.
Very early back from SMLZ, checking in on that. He actually went for the boot, so not only is that great because, what, 35% attack speed, but also against Brand in particular. Having level 2 boots means it's much harder for Megan to connect that W, which is one of the best surefire ways to hit the stun.
Yeah, Megan can also do the fancy QE combo, but we'll see if that comes out later.
Rookie needs to be careful.
Yeah, he's already used his Valkyrie. If I was closing in, but he will be okay. He has flash and heal, so pretty low chance of him dying. Plus Ning was also there to help him. And the Shy is pushing on the top lane. He actually shoved Xiang out of lane, so he will start to amass a decent minion wave advantage now. So something that Jericho may have to keep at the back of his head, because I haven't seen Jericho since that initial gank. Actually, Jericho has just been invisible.
He's again, the pathing jungle. If World 6 was kind of the opportunity, the playmaker, Jericho is much more about facilitating, and when a lot of your lanes have just been sacked from the get-go, you know, that can make life very difficult because people will start blitzing into your jungle. You can already see so much vision drop down there from IG. Icon is actually looking much more comfortable in the matchup.
Yeah, Rookie probably feeling a little bit confused as to why that stunned him, because the ball did not touch him, though the Scan of the Week did, so either way. He's got the Sheen now, so he's able to trade back towards the Syndra. You know, historically, Corki was actually picked into Syndra quite a lot.
Because he can itemize Hex Drinker and match her burst as well as deny a lot of hers.
Yep, and you've got that Valkyrie as well, and you can get out of those skill shots to ones that would usually lock down a mid laner.
And again, this is the biggest difference, though, as we pay attention to the blue buff on the screen, between Jayco and World 6. You know, World 6 was all about ganking those laners, tagging the other jungler. Jayco is about using the pressure that his laners create and opening up opportunities for them, like that blue buff steal, which was initially set up by Icon, you know, forcing Rookie back.
I'll touch on it once again, because we said that, you know, OMG, I may have picked a bad time, or maybe a really good time, because there is a pause and we have plenty of time. Let's talk about it. So, quick technical difficulty on stage. We'll get the information to you as fast as possible. I know you're anxious to hear, but as are we, so we don't have any more information for you just yet. But talking about OMG in a series, you know, they're a team that will get stronger and stronger and stronger. You know, they'll have that slow ramp even within this one best-of-5 up against Invictus Gaming. So when does that really start to pay off? And I thought we saw the start of it in Game 2, and then they will get stronger and stronger and stronger. But Invictus Gaming came with a mix-up, it stopped that momentum, and now we're both back to kind of like square one. So I'm seeing if OMG, is this the time when you actually pull it back and take it to that Game 5? Because I think that's when you really start to shine.
Yeah, I agree, and I think OMG are setting up Game 4 like the Game 5. You know, typically when you come into that last game, you build the really late game scale and composition because you don't want to blow the entire series on just like, you know, a random early game gank that is botched and gone wrong and creates a snowball. So I feel like if this game goes to Game 5, that we're going to see very similar compositions out of OMG. You know, they're always going to take the Kog'Maw if they can get their hands on it. But it's really just been the story of adaptation. You know, Invictus Gaming, Game 1, they just absolutely blitz OMG. They run them over in the lane phase. OMG think that they can scale, they're proven wrong, they change up the comp. They match them, they go for the 5v5, OMG out team fight them. Game number 3, Invictus Gaming throw the mind games. They bring in Duke, they bring in Kid, OMG don't know how to handle it, it changes up the team dynamic, and suddenly Invictus Gaming can 5v5 again. And now, here we are. And OMG, Hail Mary, the Kog'Maw play.
It's a Hail Mary, but it's a play that they wanted to go towards in the previous sets, unless this was a masterful plan from IG and they were conditioning their opponents into just like, we'll ban it out, now we'll let you have it and we'll beat you again. You know, like this could be like a long-term strategy from IG because it was obviously very cognizant that they were deciding not to ban out the Kog'Maw here.
And this is a really good time for Invictus Gaming to see if they can get a read on the Kog'Maw. You know, OMG finally got blue side for the first time in this entire series. It's obviously going to be a priority pick for the Kog'Maw. That's just been the kind of historic default when Kog'Maw is left open to someone like SMLZ. And so, you know, IG get a freebie here. They get a good read on the composition. They get a good feel if they can deal with it. And so if this does go to 5 games, they then get the option to say, okay, give it to them again. I think we know how to adjust and beat it this time. Or we cannot deal with this. If it goes to Game 5, they're never getting this again.
Just as a quick update, Zirko lost sound on his machine, so he's just going to go ahead and reconnect and see if that fixes the issue. Otherwise, it could be headphones or anything like that, but they are just figuring it out on stage. Turns out, sound pretty important to play League of Legends, you know, just as much as, you know, visuals. So, so makes a lot of sense. We're going to wait for that and see if the reconnect fixes the problem.
Yeah, sound design, pretty important. There's a lot of key indicators for multiple skills. The Ash Arrow, for one, is a big one, just that initial sound bite.
Yeah. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these players play off of those reactions, off of those audio cues, because they do signal massive things. It seems like SMLZ here deep in thought.
It's always the SMLZ face. Same face every time.
What do you mean? There's a range of emotion.
I believe we wanted to get the poster, and we just wanted to have SMLZ's face, which never changes, and just happy, sad, angry, frustrated.
Honestly, SMLZ would be incredible at poker. Like, you would never be able to know what he had.
That's true. Yeah. Be the mastermind.
He is the ultimate poker face. But SMLZ, I'm waiting for this game to be his game, you know. I really want people to see, if this is the first time you're watching the LPL and you're watching playoffs and you're like, sure, I'll watch Invictus Gaming and OMG today. And I've kept telling you that SMLZ, he's this massive carry on the team. He's the marble statue. He's the king of poker. And then he's just not had good games yet. I mean, he's had passable games, but he's been outshone by West, who is a player we literally said was probably the worst AD carry in the league, and then in the last, like, 2 series has looked like our god.
Yeah, topsy-turvy. It's opposite day. SMLZ, he has a reputation. He's been around the scene for a very long time, years.
Yep.
At one point in his career, you know, he was supposed to be what Uzi became, and unfortunately kind of disappeared, came back, restated some of his legacy. He has been a powerhouse for OMG this entire this entire season, both spring and summer, but hasn't gotten his chance just yet.
There you go. And as I have learned after being in the gaming world for, you know, quite a few years, that turning it off and on again is often the solution. So that'll fix it here, and that is a good stun down by Megan because he was about to get ganked by Jacob.
That is very telegraphed, however, from 5. There's no reason that West and Megan shouldn't suspect that Jaco is down here, which is why they seem to be so respectful about where they stand around the creeps, and that ward will confirm exactly what they suspected.
So Jaco will slink back into his jungle and keep on farming up. Still has that first kill, but hasn't translated it into anything else just yet. Ning has actually come in with the most recent buy, since he does have the Balmy Cinder.
Here comes
and
the
now
arrow.
he is going to try and go into the bottom lane. So as you mentioned, here's the arrow, right through the goalposts.
Right between the wickets. That feels bad.
Yeah, I don't really watch cricket, so I don't know.
Aren't you British?
Yes?
Isn't that a British thing?
I don't know. I know football is.
You're the most disappointing British
That's
man
why
I've
I.
ever
That's
known.
why I said goalposts.
Well, it was a field goal.
It definitely was. Okay, not gonna happen for now. Though the cooldown on arrow is not gonna be all that long.
And here comes Jaco, which is why Ning has been hanging around. He's literally been sitting in this bush because West and Megan are so far forward, just waiting for this guy to show back up. Both these junglers have such a good read on each other.
I know this guy's here. I don't see him, but I know he's here. Jaco just finally recall, but Ning, he doesn't know that, so he's going to sit here for another couple seconds, and now he starts his recall, so they are literally like maybe 4 or 5 seconds out of sync. Jaco just finally recall, but Ning, he doesn't know that, so he's going to sit here for another couple seconds, and now he starts his recall, so they are literally like maybe 4 or 5 seconds out of sync with each other, which, you know, is not a lot. In comes Icon to the top lane though. The Shy does have his ultimate and his flash. He'll immediately say, see Icon, and I guess walk away.
And again, this is good because we just saw Duke in the previous game. When the gank went up top for Duke, Duke died. When the gank comes up top for the Shy, pops his ultimate, sidesteps it, walks away.
Yep.
For whatever reason, this guy just has such a great read on the map, or just has stronger communication across map with his
Yep.
team, and it reflects in little moments like that.
Also, to be fair, Duke was warding at the time and he was not. But yes, I get your point.
Duke saw him on a ward,
Yeah.
continued to walk forward.
I know. And like the Shy, he repeatedly does this and we can compliment him for that. And the fact that he's also 20 CS ahead and he's not just constantly pushing up and just like ramming himself into the turret, because he's still thinning out the wave, he's cropping it, he's making sure that his harvest is in good shape. Though Jaco, flag, drag, knocked up, looking for the Cataclysm as well. He'll burrow to safety. Nikon was also there, ready to offer a helping hand.
But the damage has been done, and now Invictus Gaming have priority over this blue buff. And with the Shy having control of the top lane matchup, it only gets worse. You know, OMG need extra help here.
Flash over the wall from Jaco, that was a big flash.
And that's being greedy. There's no reason that Jaco should be cut his losses. Leave the buff. It is gone.
Just back it up. That's a flash down now, and that's actually pretty big because, you know, obviously Rek'Sai really needs that flash to execute these ganks.
And now these losing lanes that OMG have put themselves in regards to the Shen, the Kog'Maw, and the Lulu, are starting to bleed over into the jungle. And not only is it the blue buff, but now inside track top.
All right, how clean is this going to be? Xiang just get the initial W down. Spiritual Refuge stays for a couple seconds. Looks for the Shadow Dash as well. Ning under the tower. He's still alive. Flashes out of it. The Shy steps up looking for this one, and it will be Ning and Rookie chiming in. And he finally falls. Though in the bottom side, looks like we had some blood as well being shed.
It was Megan that eventually went down, and now it's going to be a tower trade. So overall, still a first tower, and I believe more kills, better kills? No, same kills.
Same kills. 3-2. That was a little bit confusing because we had a jump cut. We didn't get to see the conclusion of the top side and see what happened at the start of the bottom side. But we can recap. So the Shy actually died in that 1 versus 3. So Xiang did manage to get a kill in return. But the top tower, we'll see the start of that bottom lane play.
Okay, so Rookie's on the back half, SMLZ's on the bottom half. Good arrow, but hello, Syndra. Goodbye, Brand.
Yep. And that's essentially it. SMLZ even survived using the wild growth. And it was towers exchange, though it did look like IG got the first one.
And Jaco is continuous punished, and that's what's the primary problem. OMG have lost control over the lanes, which means they've lost control of the jungle, and Invictus Gaming have now opened up the map, and they're going to start spreading that vision around, contesting more of these buffs.
And for now, we are just backing off in our lanes, we're taking it slow, and we're swapping up our bottom side to the top side. So SMLZ. Lulu's walking her crazy butterfly, and just be able to catch up very shortly. Actually looking at West and Megan, they're still in the bottom side.
So technically, West is just ahead in farm, and SMLZ is on the clock, so they're still feeling good.
It's actually true. I didn't even look at the timer. It's like, yeah,
And
that's just farmed every creep in existence on every possible timeline. So fair enough. looking at the bottom, but flag drag, in comes Rookie as well. SMLZ flashes away, but I don't think he's getting out of this one alive, unfortunately. Rookie flashes after, and 5 maybe on the chopping block as well, because the Shy steps up and double.
They don't have any vision. Why are they so forward without any of their flanking wards? That's the most obvious play in the book. You don't have a tower behind you. You have super far to run.
Now IG perhaps also making a mistake. Xiang's going to catch them, but he doesn't have flash. He just needs to land the shadow dash as Icon is coming from the top side. Megan splitting off from West, and he's actually he's given up. He's just going to let his AD carry die, apparently.
And where are your wards?
Whoop, he's being chased after by Zhirko, though. Now the Dragon's getting involved in this play, though. He knocks Zhirko away. Bros over the wall, and Megan's still being closed on, but he gets stunned up. And by this Dragon, this might actually be the kill. Megan, the 2 versus 1, the real homie. Dragon chiming in there for the assist.
Dragon's just going ham on OMG. MVP.
Yeah, they paid him off.
He's literally done the most damage this game.
What the heck?
Okay, interesting pathing, interesting decisions. Overall, though, still a big win in favor of IG, because when their bot lane died, they at least traded the tower. That's worth your life.
It is, yeah. Now that just is settled, IG still got the extra tower over OMG and the extra kill, but yeah, Dragon just chimed in there and helped us out.
But this is great, because this is actually a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier. So they won't any vision until around 17, 18 minutes in the game, because you delay the sight zone so you can get the initial power spike with your Kog'Maw. Now, why this is bad for the LPL is because we're already a region that really struggles with our vision, and now it's that much scarier and that much harder. You have less wards to work with, and you have a support that even when they do have the wards is Alistars, the Broms, the Tom Kinches that were running around before when the LPL looked much stronger in terms of the meta. And that's why OMG got blasted at top lane, directly because of that Ardent Sensor.
With 2 members from IG right now lying in wait. In fact, everyone's converging on this mid lane. Ning's going to initiate SMLZ, everything is thrown on top of him. Rookie acknowledges SMLZ is dead, but he was actually starting to put some damage on towards Ning, so it will be the kill onto Kog'Maw, and the Herald was picked up from Ning, so he's going to place that in the mid lane and look to crack this one open with the boys.
Which means that it's all up to Icon here. He's the primary wave clear, and pretty much last saving grace of this structure, although I don't think they can hold it. Renekton's actually cheating around behind them.
He's stepping up, you can see just that constant poke damage as well. Tower, this mid lane down for IG. They'll probably back off after this play, though they are still sticking around.
And suddenly things are really starting to get out of control for OMG. This gold lead is ballooning towards 4K at 17 minutes into the game. And yes, there is a clock, you know, it will strike mid lane. Kog'Maw will turn back into a carriage from a pumpkin and win the game. That was supposed to be backwards pulse.
Yeah, no, I got it.
I saw your smile, you smirk. But so far, off to a great start.
Yeah.
Invictus Gaming looking to close this one out before SMLZ is even a factor.
I mean, ultimately, it's a ticking time bomb, right? And you're just trying to like cut the right wire so it knocks back the timer more and more and more. And IG have done a great job of that. There's only like, needs to just cut the red wire and they're probably set. Because right now, 0-3 Kog'Maw, yes, he's got 155 farm, but he is behind IG, he's not behind the clock, and IG, they're just ahead of them right now. And as you said it in Champions League for us, that they have all of these tools. They're just going to launch at Kog'Maw like he has to just play a bullet hell game because he's got Asho coming at him. Megan's going to be off to the side as well looking for the stun. Ning's going to be jumping on his face.
Yeah, the Shy, Rookie, I mean, so many different tools, so keeping this little guy safe, this little Monarch Butterfly, he's still in his little cocoon.
Yeah, unfortunately, but he might never emerge, unfortunately,
that
in this game.
That is the ugliest skin.
It's the prettiest skin, I think you'll find. You like Mukau Alistair, you can't even talk.
That is the best skin.
See? There we go. But IG, that's all they got to do. And they're ahead right now. They're taking the dragon.
It's not even subjective. That's actually just fact.
Disagree. Invictus Gaming. They've taken actually everything off the board right now. So there's no Herald, there's no dragon, there's no minions. I mean, there is for top side, but that's essentially it. So just keep it.
But there is an Ash Arrow, which means that there's always opportunity for Invictus Gaming to engineer something.
Engineer their own objective.
Yep. It's called the standing too far forward in the lane so I can see you. Dodge this. And if you don't, you're dead.
Yes. A classic LPL objective. The red buff. That's where we're going to open up the fight.
Flash Wheels do this a lot too, so it's not just us.
I'm stealing it. This is ours now. You made this, I made this. Ning. Careful, Zhirko.
Oh, we got it.
Really? With the flag? Okay. All right,
Guys, do not look at explosions.
Oh.
He threw it. He walked.
I don't even know if he knew he was going to pick that up. With a flag of all things, you don't even max the ability. It has 2 points in it. There's like 70 damage.
The team's like, did you get that? Of course I got that.
Yeah. You doubted? Hold on to the flash.
Oh.
Arrow! I mean, good reaction from SMLZ, but now he's without a flash.
Which means that Cataclysm, that's his graveyard, his cemetery. He's dead. Bury him.
The funny thing was we were looking at the screen essentially where SMLZ's screen was probably as well. So the amount of time that he had to react to that arrow, not a lot of time. But regardless, it's what it means for the future. And also, Icon, no reason to be there. Teleport coming down from Xiang, but that's all we can really get.
Oh,
and 5, getting blown up in the base. Megan catches him. About to use all his defensive stuff on himself, using Summoner Heal.
And Invictus Gaming, they are just cornering OMG into the very back of their base. There's nowhere that they can go. They've got full control over this bottom side jungle and full control over the Baron.
I mean, honestly, for us, this is just collapse from OMG.
But this is a mistake. I mean, yes, that they can do it, but they gave it away. Like, they didn't do it perfectly, which is why the teleport's coming in. IG, still a bit overzealous. Just kill the blue trinket and then disengage.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening here. Xiang is stepping up, trying to stop recalls, it looks like, for the mid lane.
Yeah, they've lost tempo. So because Invictus Gaming went for the Baron, were interrupted, it gives tempo back to OMG because IG are on the base, which gives them a free structure. So, again, just a slight misplay there from IG around the Baron pit.
Ning stuck around, though. He took one for the team. Everyone else went back to base and picked up their items, but Ning actually stayed in the mid, so protected the mid lane tower, and that tempo was again dissolved. So OMG will go back to the drawing board. But it honestly seems like OMG have not ramped up in the way that we thought they would in this best of 5.
We're just kind of in this tug of war right now. Tempo slightly traded back and forth. Now the big breaking point is again going to be that Kog'Maw. He's sitting on the Zeal as well as his Blade of the Rune King, so he's very close to having kind of his secondary power spike plus Ardent Censer. He will be online. You know, this is no longer the meta of the 35-45 minute Doom Kog'Maw. It's the 25-minute terror.
Yeah, it's going to come down to SMLZ at the end of the day, and I just hope he has enough items, you know, to shine when he needs to. For that idea, keeping up the tempo, because you can look around this Baron and try to make a play on it. West has his arrow again. What does SMLZ not have? His flash. We'll look to open up this play.
IG already setting up their waves. They set up mid as well as the top wave, so they do have pressure around the Baron.
Xiang doesn't have teleport or his ultimate. He has to run up if he wants to get involved. OMG have just essentially just sacked this Baron.
Well, they're about to walk into a blind and possibly walk into an arrow.
And the Try's actually taking a lot of damage because he stood behind the Baron, but here comes the arrow. Zhiko locked up. He gets the steal! Zhiko, the hero at the 11th hour, is what OMG needed.
Game 4 comes in, last chance for OMG, and he finds the Baron steal. And that is so pivotal because it means that SMLZ has just been bought 4 minutes to get to where he needs to be. So Jaco hands the ball to SMLZ, sets it up for him. Just come in and dunk it. Wow, with the arrow.
Arrow connects.
So it's in the animation of the tunnel. Thank God he's able to bicycle through that animation, get into the pit, and be in range of the smite.
Yep. The only thing that stops smite is suppress, and they don't have one of those. They have stuns. So you can smite during the stun animation, and Joko gets it. As you said, it's bought 4 minutes. It's literally breathing a sigh of relief if you're SMLZ.
Breathing life back into OMG. That was their whole season on the line there.
I mean, look at SMLZ. He looks ecstatic at this prospect. Now he's able to farm for the next 3.5 minutes and actually hit that 2-3 item.
It's even been delayed even further because he went for QSS. So again, if you're looking for that Hurricane, that Bork build, he's now got an item in between it. So that Baron offers so much safety, so much power back to OMG's composition. They might actually get across the finish line.
It might not be over. IG now have to back away. And look how far OMG are now able to push up. Like, they were essentially just sat in their base up until that Baron take.
And it's just unfortunate that IG felt like they had done everything right. It's arrow again.
The arrow, it connects onto SMLZ, though this time he did have a cleanse out of it. A QSS comes down, but Icon steps forward. He did not get the kill onto the Shy. Now he's under attack. Massive Pyroclasm comes in. Xiang looking for the re-engage, though, onto the Jarvan. The Shy takes down Jericho. Rookie on the retreat, though. SMLZ hungry for this Corki. Massive Pyroclasm comes in. Xiang looking for the re-engage, though, onto the Jarvan. The Shy takes down Jericho. Rookie on the retreat, though. SMLZ hungry for this Corki.
The bubble sounds aren't very terrifying, but he's going!
Turn left, turn right, dodging all of these skill shots. Rookie
Break his
trying to get
ankles!
away. Actually gets out. SMLZ, he has the flash, but he can't burn it on getting that kill.
And he lost, oh god.
Flag, I mean, the Shadow Dash just went straight over the head of Ashe. Sees him go by. Now Xiang under attack. The Cataclysm comes down, and Icon Shadow Dash just went straight over the head of Ashe. Sees him go by.